Most of us actually fail to teach about the monotony of the routines that we actually have and the routines that we actually deal with on a regular basis. So routine is some sort of sequence of action that is performed. And some of that stuff is for, we actually do try to improve those routines, and some of it we don't. It's just sort of part of what we actually do. We get up in the morning, we brush our teeth, I go for a jog, get some sort of exercise, go eat breakfast, get the kids ready for school, go and do some reading, writing, and arithmetic, and then have dinner, and wind down for a little bit, and then go back to bed and do the same thing every day. Doesn't matter what day it is. That's sort of the routine that we go through. And this monotony of life sometimes gets the better of us, because it seems like it's the same thing every day. It's Groundhog Day. And it's a really important aspect, I think, for us to deal with this. And I think we do a really poor job of teaching that and how to deal with some of that monotony that we actually do. In fact, we probably encourage it to have more monotony, because we try to push people to do more, to do better, and it causes them to work harder. It causes them to spend more time doing the things that are very monotonous, like reading papers, for example, like writing, for example. And I want you to sort of think about ways that you can actually escape this monotony of life that we actually have. And there is a lot of ways that you can deal with the monotony of life, because I think it's very real for us. So one way that we can escape the monotony of life is to have a vacation, right? Or have one day off a week, or 2 days off a week, or whatever your sort of schedule is, where you do something different, where you go and that's why I like weekends. Most of us still kind of do some sort of work on the weekend, quote unquote work on the weekends, but it depends on what that work is or what you're actually doing, and the things that you're actually doing. So, working could be cleaning, for example. A lot of us, including myself, sort of push that off, the sort of cleaning routine until the weekend. And then we catch up on cleaning or, groceries and things like that. And that becomes a nice event that we go and do. And we actually have fun doing those kind of things. And before, it's 2020 right now, we're in a pandemic. So before pandemic days, I'd go to Costco and we'd go to Costco and it'd be a family affair, and it was really fun. But now we kind of limit that contact. So there is, aspects of it that are fun and enjoyable, of breaking up the monotony of life by having that sort of break, or planning for a vacation, or just thinking about a vacation, planning something that is maybe every couple of months, or maybe it's once a month where you take an extra day off and you go and do something that's different. Maybe you go on a trip someplace, you go on a car ride someplace, or, some of us will go do bigger vacations. I typically don't do those bigger vacations. We just don't have a heck of a lot of time to do those really big vacations where you take a couple of weeks off. But there's lots of things that you can do to sort of break up that monotony of life, where it becomes exciting. So your mind is not thinking about the things that you're doing, but the things that you could possibly do. And that expectation for something in the future is a wonderful way to sort of escape the monotony of life. Now, the last thing that I would like to talk about is to think about the patterns of how you actually work on a regular basis, right? So we might think about, doing things that cause us to have monotony, or feel like you're bored, or, it's not necessarily all that exciting. And a lot of that has to do with what you're working on and how you're working. Right, so you can switch up the patterns in which you are working to sort of have a lot more fun. So turn things that are monotonous, or you feel are monotonous, into games. So data input, for example, you turn that into some sort of game. Or writing, you turn that into some sort of game where you have to write a little bit in an hour or something along those lines. But there's all sorts of things like that you can do, where you're switching up and trying different things and experimenting and trying to convert what you're doing into a game where you are actually doing things to enjoy that work that you're actually doing, and sort of playing, quote unquote, playing with your work, right? And that's the way that I want you to view working, because it's going to be a lot more fun if you just simply think that what I'm doing is just playing around, just goofing off. And if you feel like that, then that is a good sign. That makes you feel like you're actually enjoying the process.